welcome to a new edition of our show. Money Means Business. As we always say, and business means money. Stability and business mean a lot of money. A lot of happening has been taking place on the local scene, of course, regional and international. But what is happening in Egypt, the main talk of the town right now is the 8th National Youth Conference that kicked off on Saturday today under the auspices and with the attendance of President Abdel Fattah Sisi at Al Manara Conference Center. Attending the conference are Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Speaker of the House of Representatives Dr. Ali Abdel Al, and a number of ministers and senior state officials. 1,600 participants, mainly youth, attended this youth conference edition from different sectors nationwide. President Sisi participated in the first session of the 8th National Youth Conference entitled as Experience of Combating Terrorism locally and regionally. The conference started with a documentary showing that empowering young people was one of the most important priorities of President Sisi since he took office. Another documentary was screened about terrorism threats. It showed that in 2018, the world lost $60 billion because of terrorism, which has been a global threat for countries. Also participating in the session were head of Egyptian Center for Strategic Studies, Khalid Okesha, Chief of Security and Defense Program, Dalal Mahmoud, and a number of youth researchers at the center. Okesha said that September 11th terrorist attacks in the United States are a critical point in the development of terrorism. He confirmed that the United States managed to uproot Taliban terrorist movement in Afghanistan. However, other terrorist groups emerged in 2011 in the countries that witnessed the so-called Arab Spring revolutions. Meanwhile, the head of the Security and Defense Program at the Egyptian Center for Studies said that there are around 67 to 100 terrorist groups operating in more than 44 countries. The state was affected temporarily, noting that the state was affected temporarily after 2011 revolution due to schemes which aimed at hurting national security. The president added some have sought to destroy Syria and Iraq in order to destroy the East through terrorism and armed militias. President Sisi also said that the idea of terrorism wouldn't succeed unless being adopted by some countries. He also said that these countries had used youth as a tool to implement terrorist plans. Sisi noted that combating terrorism costs the state a lot, stressing that the Egyptian army is the cornerstone not only for Egypt, but also for the whole region. And we do have online Dr. Yumna Al-Hamaki. Hello? Hello? Dr. Yum? Hello? Well, we'll be just again calling Dr. Yum and hello? Well, we'll be just talking later about, we were going to discuss, of course, beside our main issue, the dollar rate that is decreasing vis-a-vis the Egyptian pound and, of course, the interest rate, but that would wait. I'd like to introduce my guests to start with Engineer. Yes, hello? Dr. Yum, are you online?
Hello?
Yes, Dr. Yum?
Yes?
Yes, Dr. Yum, I'd like to ask you about the dollar that is decreasing, going down than before vis-à-vis the Egyptian pound?
Yes, the appreciation of the Egyptian pound has been due to several reasons for the last period, specifically the enhancing of the inflows of foreign currency coming from tourism, coming from workers' remittance. That witnessed significant increase during the last period. Suez Canal revenue, partially from exportation, because we still need to enhance the figure of export of Egypt, still very minimal compared to the potentialities of the Egyptian economy to enhance the competitiveness of specifically our manufactured products. So, besides, one of the most important reasons behind the appreciation of the Egyptian pound is the inflows of foreign indirect inflows. This reached the last period $20 billion. I believe these sources of inflows for foreign currency have contributed to the appreciation of the Egyptian pound. The stabilization of exchange rate in Egypt and the appreciation of Egyptian pound may have important repercussions on economic performance and to strengthen economic reform in Egypt. Why? Because still the Egyptian economy is still relying on production, on importation. So this can be reflected in increasing the cost of production, specifically for the manufacture sector, for most of what we are importing as food products. So this may ease the impact of this importation on inflation, and this, the Egyptian economy witnessed the last period significant decrease in the rate of inflation in Egypt for the last period. So I believe that we are doing well in our economic reform. Still, we have to concentrate on the real economy, on improving our competitiveness, addressing, obstacles that may affect the inflows of foreign direct investment. Egypt is in deep need of foreign direct investment in order to, transfer technologies. This is quite important, as well as upgrading the skills of our workforce, which can be, presented as a very important human capital to strengthen the impact of economic reform.
Dr. Yul Hamaki, Professor of Economics, Nile University, thank you very much for being with us. And I'd like to introduce our guests. We have with us Engineer Ihab Wasif, Vice President of the Division of Gold in the Federation of Chambers of Commerce. Welcome, sir, with us.
Welcome to you.
Well, first time in my show, but not last time. And you're a guest here on Nile TV.
Yes.
Always welcome.
Thanks.
And also we have with us, I think for the first time.
Yes,
for the first time, we have with us Dr. Nurhan Ashraf. And Dr. Nurhan Ashraf is one of the participants in the youth conference. Of course, she's a medical doctor.
No, I'm not a medical doctor. I just do my master's degree in St. Petersburg.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Still not
but when you talked about working with blood all the time, like your hands.
Yes, yeah, because I love it.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, I'm in the medical team.
Okay, in the medical team. Well, there is, to talk about, since we're talking about depreciation of currency, again, it's very important to talk about gold.
Yeah.
Yes, gold, we witnessed, suddenly a hike in the price, and now it's going, slowly. What does that mean, and how does it bear any effect on the economy?
Let me just explain something to the people. They should be understanding, what are the reasons. How do we get the gold price in Egypt? The gold price in Egypt is depending on three major things. First thing is the stock market, like the international stock market price. Second thing is the exchange rate for the Egyptian pound to the US dollar. Third thing is the demand and supply in the market, in the Egyptian local market. So if any of these changes, that would change the gold price. What we have seen during the last 3 months is that we have seen like an increase of the of the gold price by 17%, and that in the stock market, and that really affects the gold price. And at the same time, we had a little slight decrease in the exchange rate to the Egyptian pound for the dollar.
Yes.
And that helped for the gold price not to be increased that much. Third thing is the demand and supply in the market, and this is kind of like stable. It's like £1 more, £1 less. That's not affecting the gold price. The reasons why the gold price has been decreasing during, like, let's say, the past week is due to two reasons of the three that I've said. The first reason was that the stock market was down a little bit. It was like by 2% down. And then we had another decrease in the exchange rate for the dollar. I would not say that the dollar price went down. I would say that the Egyptian pound went higher. Okay. So this is the exact thing that to explain it economically, because it shows that the Egyptian economy is doing well these days. So we shouldn't be saying that the dollar price went down. We should be saying that the Egyptian pound went up. So these are the two reasons, and actually the increase in the Egyptian pound has raised has decreased the price of gold by 0.5%. So what we can how can we calculate it? That during the past 3 months, the gold price was raised by 17%, and it's now down a little bit, like 2%. And then we have another 0.5% for the exchange rate.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe this can explain it a little bit.
Well, let me ask the question. Women, we are women here, so like talking about. Well, I'm talking about the time that gold was not as expensive as it is right now. And of course, when you buy a gram, then there is the workmanship. So it's really, it adds to
labor charges. Yeah,
definitely. For example, if you're getting married or getting engaged, you will have to buy the ring.
Gram.
Definitely, and then before it was not expensive, maybe 700, less than that, 1,000, most. Like now, it's really expensive. So did this affect let's say, the buying and selling? How is it?
You mean the demand in the market, like
yes.
People?
Yes.
Yeah, it is affecting the demand in the market. It's let's say it's affecting it a lot, and it has been affected since 2011. The market is a little bit down. It's not a little bit, it's a lot down, like 32%. The sales are down, and but we cannot say that our market is completely under recession, but it's still going. Yeah, it's 32%. More or less. Down.
Yeah, because before it was easier, when women.
No, the thing is that the people, the buyers, they do have a limited amount of money to buy gold with, and so that's why, because the amount of money hasn't been increased. So if they could get, like, let's say 20 grams before, now they can get it like 6-8 grams with the same amount of money. So this has decreased the sales for our stores all over Egypt, but still we're going on. Things are going on.
But still, I think we are cheaper than say like other Europe. And
no, the gold price is the gold price. The gold price everywhere is still the same. But labor charges are, like, here in Egypt it's much cheaper than the other countries, especially in our area. Like, let's mean the Middle East area. Our labor charges are still less than them. And actually, we do have the same quality that you can get from any other big country of production of jewelry.
Yes.
So we're giving people a good service, good quality, good finishing, and then with a less labor charge than any
Does
other
that
country.
encourage, like, say, Arabs around us and other maybe Europeans to come and buy from
Actually,
Egypt?
no, because we are not we still don't have the doors open to market our goods for the other countries.
Yeah.
But it's in the plan. It's in our division plan, just to go to the other exhibitions in the other countries, especially in our region, to exhibit and to show the Egyptian products, how things are going. Because we had the market was kind of closed between the year 2011
Definitely.
till let's say 2015 or 14.
Yeah.
So the market was totally closed at that time. So we're now trying to pick up things and get to the exhibitions in the region, let's say in the region and the African countries, so we can be able to export to the other countries like our jewelry, not export bullion gold, jewelry.
Yeah, okay. So, recently in London, there was the jewelry show, the, mega big one. So, shows like that, I think.
Yeah, actually the big exhibition, the big show for jewelry is, the biggest one is in Italy. And it was a couple of days ago. It was doing well. And there's another one in January, but we are planning for the year 2020, the summer of 2020, to exhibit in this exhibition, and probably there's another one in another country in the region that we might be exhibiting in.
Well,
we are encouraging the people, the producers for
Yes.
jewelry,
Yes.
to go there, show the goods in the market, and we had some promises from the government that they will support us with exhibiting in the other countries, in the other shows in the countries.
does that mean that, if participation in a big show like that, does it promise, so let's say, it can be a way to have Egyptian jewelry?
Yeah, there is. We had it, as my company, we had it before in other exhibitions in other countries. But the thing is that it was me and only me. So it was me who was doing it on my own.
Yeah.
Without having any support from anybody or in the country. But now we had promises from the country, from the government, that they will help us to get into the exhibitions, get into the marketing our goods to the region and the other countries, so we can export.
Which is really good,
Yeah.
We're just, the same footing, equal footing as the international producers.
Yes. We can be in the map of the producers for jewelry in the world.
But we
very
do have
soon.
one of the big designers, or designers, I cannot say the name, of course, but she's, we see on the runway that actors, actresses, and she's really her jewelry, she's opening everywhere.
Yes. We would there are let's say more than 10 designers in Egypt that are well known. Sometimes we get ideas from the other countries, and we put our taste, our touches in the designs, so we can cope with the Egyptian local market for this. Now, if we are exporting, we will have to cope with the other markets that we are going to export to.
Okay. Now we're going to the main issue we're talking about, of course. But that all is related. But now you're one of the participants in this
The eighth conference,
event.
80th conference.
Definitely. Well, I'd like to know, how were you chosen there? How did you go and be part of it?
One of my family that suggested in applying to me to the conference, and my name is coming.
Yeah.
So when I applied, that's how I applied, and then I go.
Why were you interested in participating in this conference? I mean, what came to your mind, why you really wanted to go there?
It's my second conference that I attended to.
Oh, okay, so it's not the first one?
No, the first, because it was the economic conference that was in Sharm el-Sheikh. It was for 3 days, and it was interesting that I know a lot about the economic. And now I was interested about the tourism and to know about that stuff. This things to know about more, and because I'm young, I want to know more about.
Yeah.
That was interesting to me to know it.
Well, President Sisi talked about terrorism, talked about lots of things. How did you find it? Well, explain to us, how did you find the participants, the whole climate there, and the topics that were tackled today?
It was, the participant was active with the conference. Actually, we was here helpful to be in there. And the conference was talking a lot of useful things that about the terrorism that we have evaluated the first experience to prevent, and about the terrorism, that how is spread in the area and how the government helped to reduce it, and with the religion organisms, that how to reduce it and help people to know, because there are a large number that happened before 5 years ago. It's about, we talk about 80,000 person died before, and this is really a large number. And all about this stuff that a large number before.
Okay, we will go with this. Very important issues were talked to. We know about that, of course, and we know that the trials and endeavors of, some forces behind what's going on, spreading havoc or trying to create problems, like what happened before with us, and still even like now, the army and police, and of course the state is going to start and is trying to, it's like we are safe, not like before. How do you see such conferences here, and with the session of President Sisi answering the questions that she told me before the show, some were embarrassing, yet he answered them.
No, like the president is trying to be very clear with the Egyptians. He is answering the questions, and one of the good things that we never had before is that the president is like, let's say, meeting normal people in the streets. He is discussing issues with them, issues that is related to the country, to the economy of the country, to the problems that we're facing in our country. And then at the same time, he is opening the door to know how youth are thinking, and answer the questions, answer some of the rumors that are going in the street. He is, like, I can tell that he is following up with everything that's going on in the country, as if he is on social media. He knows everything. And he had like a very good speech today, a very good reply to big questions, and like the answers were very straight to the point, like a shot in the head. So like, I'm very proud of him.
Yes. Well, I've seen a lot of, even on social media, it's like, we are very proud of our president. This is, like, heart to heart, the talk that, comes from the heart and goes to the heart. And clearly without, transparency.
Yeah, but by the way, you don't see this in other countries. Like, I've been traveling all over the world. You don't see this in other countries. Some other countries, like, when you see the president, it's like a dream. But the president sitting with the 1,600 youth at the same time, like, this is something really nice and big.
Definitely. Yet we are being criticized for everything we do, good or bad. But now, like, they, we see, like, in the international media, they have to acknowledge the efforts that are being made. They try to, whenever you do something, it's just, they criticize and say something in, like, against it. But what can you say about that?
Is, like, we have the power. This is the simplest thing.
Exactly.
Okay, like, we have the power.
Definitely. And well, like, answering, did you have any certain questions in your mind for the president, or were they all answered when you sat there? You thought, of course, of questions in your mind to ask him, but then, like, he was answering lots of questions coming from social media. Did he answer your own?
I asked him a question there about social media and the lies that on social media.
Exactly. We
and he answered that he is not his limit, not his level to answer it, and he wants just talk about the disadvantage of the social media and say it's never not in mind to talking about. Talk about the disadvantage of the social media, like a lot of people today that lost not. Social media is not saving time, and we have now not face-to-face with family and not family close-up and this stuff, not saving time.
Let me ask you, the participants here are all Egyptians or they were foreigners this time? Because like every time there are just people from all over the world. This time it's only Egyptians?
Just only Egyptians.
Only Egyptians.
Yes, all there. Last conference was with another Egyptian, not like that this time, first
Okay.
time.
How do you feel, how do you see the importance, again I'm asking, the importance of such meetings and such conferences? I mean, for Egyptians generally, and especially in times, like we are acting as if, it's easy and nothing is going around and we're working hard and we're building, but then, around us there are just terrorism is surrounding us with countries, and the army is just pushing them out.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing, we're safe, but it's not.
All our borders are like if you see the borders of Egypt, there are certain big crises everywhere, eastern, western, southern crisis, big crisis, and terrorism, and this is what the president was discussing today with the youth. So it's like we are in the middle of the fire, but.
Well, we're acting, differently, as if, things are just going normally for us.
Yeah, the train is going.
Yes.
The train
and nothing
is going.
Stopping it.
Yes.
Nothing can stop the train.
Yeah. Which
is not stop, but really, he just going on, and he talked a lot about that. He will never stop, and we are not just a weak country. We are strong enough to fight them, and we never say it's okay, and we let them to be in the country and work in it.
Yeah, definitely. And working very hard. What happened to us, going through 2 revolutions, and then as you're just working in gold and all that, attacking places of gold that time.
Yeah, the main market in Cairo was attacked by at the revolution.
Yes.
On the 28th of January 2011. There was a big attack to the market. It hit more than 44 stores there. And but now things are we're cleaning things up, and actually it was cleared, and the market is stable since June 30th, 2013. The market is stable. We are now secured enough. We can open our stores fully working, fully occupied and everything, and we're safe now.
And then, we see tourism, and we see tourists, and we see the gold quarter, people coming, going.
Yeah, actually, let's talk economically a little bit. It's the tourism was kind of 5% of the wholesale of the jewelry market. Since 2011 till 2018 or 17, I think, it was 0%. And now we can see 3.5% to 4% of the overall sales in the gold market. So we are approaching the same as 2010. So we are getting back to things.
Hopefully we'll have a big boost, and jump in quantum leap.
Yes, and I can see we are going on the right track. What I can see is that we are going on the right track. We just need a little bit marketing to the tourism in Egypt.
Yeah.
That's what we need, and that's it. We need to tell people that Egypt is safe.
It is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to talk about gold, or just buying gold or selling gold, or just going, or even talking like that. Definitely.
Yes.
We'll go for a short break. After she'll be back. Stay tuned to us. Don't go away. We're coming in a moment. back again to Money Means Business, and we are talking on a myriad of stuff that's taking place on the local scene and regionally, of course, all interrelated, but of course also our focus is the 8th National Youth Conference that kicked off today. And again, I'd like to introduce our guests, and we have with us Engineer Ehab Wasif, and also Nurhan Ashraf with us, and we talked about lots of things. And again, you know, I'm interested in this, like all that, you know, since we are safe, you know, so we can talk about anything. We can just deal with gold or not gold, and more things, you know, which is really, well, no, this is, you know, stability.
It's yeah. Simply, it's stability.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. But then you like to, well, we'll come back to you again.
Okay, sure.
But then you like, Nurhan can talk to us about, you know, since we know, like, the President Sisi tackled especially the point that is very important to all of us that we are talking about, because it's spreading everywhere. Not, you know, we see like in France, you know, like in America and all, like, well, sprees, you know, like. Youth or others, you know, like going on in sprees and killing people at schools or, you know, other places or in supermarkets. So nowhere is safe, and there was a report actually about Egypt safer than Britain, you know. Yeah. Those who try to just, you know, sometimes write reports against us or articles, you know, like they do have the problem, you know, like we're safer than that. So you would know more about that and tell us about the conference and how let's say the sessions about terrorism and other distributed.
In the conference,
yes,
they're talking about the terrorism that divided to 3 parties,
yes,
or 3 organisms to terrorism.
Yes.
First, the Muslim Childhood, and the second, Al-Qaeda group organization, and the third was Daesh.
Yes.
And in the conference, they say that Al-Qaeda was supported by Ikhwan Muslim. Muslim Childhood.
Yes.
And they was the biggest organization in the world.
There's the international also it's you know, like local and international.
Yes, they wanted to continue. The strategy was just taking a policy of this stuff, and now they want to control all the world, not just a special country. They now want some of the incoming money that was 40,000 per month in a year in 2050 to 2070 per month, and this is a large number. That and the conference was saying that 2001 to 2070 was have about $771 million that we have lost about this stuff.
And coming to pay for certain things and certain
yes,
plans.
they do it to gain money again. And here in Egypt, we have some parties that we build it to defend our army and our foreign effort. We are a religion organization that have to increase the awareness to people to how to fight terrorism. And that was a small part is that about our conference. That's what's all, not this.
Yeah, you're participating. Well, this is the first day.
Yes.
So you're going to the
next.
Yes. Okay. Are there any plans for next days? You know, like what is the president going to be talking about, or the other sessions?
The conference was only one day.
One day.
Yes, it's today, just only.
Yeah. But it gathered a lot. You know, like today was very. It's very intense.
Yes, it's together a lot. It's talking about the terrorism, how to defend it about it, and social media, and the session of Ask the President was compare. Oh yes, a lot of things, and just compared with other conferences, it was 3 days or 4 days. That just 1 day.
Definitely. But it seems like this is like, for example, we're not alerted that there is a conference, but you know, like they told us there is a conference, and you know it took place, and of course it was prepared, very well prepared. Then there is a necessity for the issues that have been discussed in this conference to really be on stage and to have much importance and significance. They are significant, but to be focused on.
Yeah. I believe the first thing was answering the rumors that are going on social media, like Twitter, like Facebook. That was like as I said before, it was like a shot in the head. And then the other thing was discussing about terrorism, and I guess the president was very clear about like identifying some stuff that weren't clear for the normal people, and it was a very good chance for the president. I believe it's in two ways. One way is like knowing what's going on in the youth mind. The second thing is the president was very clear to show them that I know everything that is going down the street, like how people are going, thinking, how the rumors are going in the streets, and what are the plans. Like you have like I don't know what they call it, but they call it the fourth category of wars.
Yeah.
Okay, which is going
fourth
like
generation, the fourth
generation
war,
of wars.
Yes.
And I believe I've watched a little bit about it. I wasn't there in the
Yes,
conference.
we're talking about it.
He talked about it.
Yes.
Yes.
And we talk in conference about convert the social media to alternative media to use it and benefit, to turn it about the lies that spread in the Facebook and social media.
Definitely.
He talked about.
And there's also one good thing that is happening regarding the conference is that like replying back to the rumors that are going in the streets.
Exactly.
And like every minister that answered the rumors that are going in their field, like would you believe it that there were like 11 rumors that went into the social media since the beginning of this month? So in 11 rumors that went...
And we're still in the middle, of the month, but then
it's
11
like,
rumors.
it's like 15 days and you got already 11 rumors, big rumors.
Yes.
Okay, about Ministry of Health, about Education, Ministry of Education, and they answered them on the TV yesterday, and I guess they talked about it during the conference today. And this is like 11 big rumors. That's a very big number.
Of course.
And the president had to clear some good issue, like big issues that were going down the street, like people were talking about it. And
Yes, we're talking about this today.
Since she is in medicine, we can say that he cut the vein of the rumor, of the rumor from
not
going
all of
from.
Them. Seriously, not all of them.
Yeah, so he was very clear of what's going on. He was very clear of what we are going through. He was very clear about how the future is going to be like, or how he is seeing the future for the country. And this is very good for people to know. Still so many questions in people's mind, but he answered, I guess, a lot of them.
Yeah, and then it's very important to answer that because we see always, like some people and see on social media that they write and they say, well, they just give their ideas, so everybody writing is an economy expert, is an engineer, is a doctor. He's one, he knows everything. So he's giving his opinion, and you find it's like really shocking things, and they're not. They have nothing to do with the truth. And this is uninformed, or this is specially designed, they said, to be a rumor, and then everybody sharing, so sharing something like
because
this.
Today, in the session of Ask the President, the President was asking about everything, because this lies that happening, or this stuff that happened in Facebook, and he say about the people who save videos and sharing his personal life. And yes, it's really, and get a person who's it's for 5 years or something that she didn't talk to another one, and I can explain, she can't talk anymore because her hand just only reading.
Using
she never face to face for 5 years, and she lost to have to talk.
And one good thing that I've seen in the president is that he can tell numbers. He has all the numbers in his head, which is like kind of
amazing.
Like I was like shocked.
Today
like how can you memorize all these numbers about everything, about everything, every field, like this is big. This is something big.
I can't remember my own number, so it's very hard.
No, he remembers all the numbers for the country, like our production in this field, our use of this field, and all the numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
it's interesting. Unfortunately, we've got 1 minute left. So what would you like for the future of women and of youth in Egypt? How do you see the future?
I want another woman to participate in the conference and to increase their awareness about everything, just only not men. Sorry about that.
I didn't participate, but I wish next time I would.
No, I want more. There are a lot of men today, and I want more women and girls to happen and participate in it.
Definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
to increase my awareness and everything.
Yeah, yeah. How do you see the future from now?
Economically,
Yeah.
we're going on the right track.
And politically speaking, everything, like how do you see?
Politically, we're also going on the right track, but
Yeah.
we still have some threats from the borders.
Yes.
But we're going on the right track.
Yes.
Our relations with the other countries is very good. We have a respect from other countries because I travel a lot, so I can tell the difference between the year 2012 and now.
Yeah.
So, like, I can see respect from other countries to Egypt, even in sport-wise. Like, we're like...
It's amazing.
We're,
you know, like
we're,
the
we're
goals that
booming.
we have. Yeah.
We're booming in sports, we're
Yeah.
booming in politics,
Yes.
we're booming
At the
in
moment,
economics, and we're doing very well.
Well, Mr. Zaid, mashallah.
Mashallah. And I wish I could participate next time in the conference.
Hopefully.
I
you know,
hope so too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they asked me not to end. So, Engineer, I want to thank you very much for being
Thanks
with
a lot.
us.
Thank you.
And of course, well, as we go along, we'll have you, we see developments on all fields, especially gold, and other, of course.
Yes.
And also, Nur al-Ashraf, thank you very much for being with us. And
Thanks.
we'll know more like about the other activities going on. We'll see, you know. We're going to be talking about it. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks.
And I'd like to thank our viewers for being there. So we'll see you again next week. As we always say, God bless Egypt, God bless Egyptians, God bless our president, and God bless our army and police. And Mubarak Sha'bi Misr. As we end, and ادخلوا بسلام إن شاء الله آمنين. I'm Nabina Azim signing off. Goodbye for now.